Amazing. Hi guys, and welcome to Team Training. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Bianca and I am one of the mentors in Babes in Business, and I'm also one of the mentors in Boss Babe Empires as well. So I'm really excited for you guys to jump onto Team Training tonight as I get to talk to you about the second skill that we have as a part of what it is that we do within our Babes in Business mentoring program. So before we get started, I just want to make sure that all of you have a pen and paper handy because I am going to make you take notes. And I am also going to be asking for some input from some participants at time as well. So I may pick on you or I will ask for some volunteers depending on how voluntary people are feeling. I don't even think that's the word, but anyways, moving on. So basically just to recap, so our team training last Tuesday was basically about finding people or finding potential teamies and clients and building a relationship with them. So hopefully by now you've seen that amazing team training by Sophie Kate, who's also one of our mentors in Babes in Business as well. But basically what that training really went over was the importance of finding, suitable teamies that are related to your avatar, but also how to build quality relationships with your potential teamies or clients as well. So I won't go over that in too much detail tonight, simply because that was covered in last week's training, but would love for you guys to go back and check it out if you haven't had the chance to go through it already. I will be referring to it throughout tonight's training, but what I really want to focus on for this training is knowing how to invite like a boss. Because really, at the end of the day, that is probably one of the most important skills that we can have when it comes to this business. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know how to invite anyone along to come and check out what it is that you're up to, or even show them about the opportunity with the Health, Style, and Forum or Balanced Fellas, then you don't have a business. So I don't want that to scare you, and I don't want to put the pressure on myself either. But my intention for tonight's training is to help all of you absolutely crush inviting your potentials to our live events, our online events, or even just asking them, excuse the cats that are ripping up the carpet, invite them along to watch a recording to one of our live webinars as well, or one of our old recordings. So you do not have to have a reputation in MLM, or that's essentially what we do is multi-level marketing, nor do you have to have an influence over people. If you go back to the training from last week, something that we've really drummed in, and hopefully you've got this from the trainings that you've experienced to date, is that building a relationship is really important with your potentials. And basically what we want to do with our potentials is come from a place where we're caring. Hopefully in your conversations where you have been building a relationship with them using the FORM acronym, such as asking them about their family, their occupation, recreation, what it is that they love doing before we send them the message. You've really got a good idea about who they are, what they're passionate about, what they love doing, perhaps what pains them, perhaps what they're looking for to add into their life, so that way when we are coming to them with our message to invite them along to a webinar, we are coming from a place of authenticity where we genuinely care, or it's coming from a place where we're giving them a common sense solution to whatever their problem is. So if you haven't already gone and done this with any of your potentials you've invited to date, then perhaps look back at your conversations and see where things have perhaps slipped. Perhaps you haven't really asked those quality questions to really dig deep and find out why it is that they would maybe want to do something like this. Because at the end of the day, if you were to go through and actually ask every single one of you that is on the line tonight, and there's currently 66, every single one of us said why for a different reason. And the reasons why we're here is because someone cared enough to ask us about our lives and what it is that we're passionate about or what we're missing in order to find out more about the opportunity that we have with our business mentoring programs. So if you haven't already done this as well, then all of my notes from tonight's session are actually derived from GoPro. So if you haven't already, please listen to this. The leaders before you, we've all done this. We've all gone through and done the training. It's how we developed our skills, and it's how we're packaging this up to really present to you the information that you need to help with really building your business. So I've listened to it 4 times, and that's not an exaggeration. And I'm even now listening to it for a 5th time because I'm redoing this training for all of you tonight as well. So I want to get my trusty whiteboard. Please excuse me, I'm sitting on a beanbag right now. Now, I hope you guys all have your pen and paper ready because I am going to get you to take notes. Now, the following 8 steps that I'm about to go through with you, and I am going to expand on them shortly, is basically what should be applied to every single invitation that you have with any potential teamie that you're inviting along to take a closer look at our business structure. So what you're going to find, and what I'm going to do going forward, is I'm going to ask someone to jump on and I guess do like a bit of a mock scenario with what it's like to invite someone to one of our events. But I'm also going to share some scripts with you as well that I have created in collaboration with my housemate Jess Strauss, which is also one of the girls in Babes in Business as well. So I will be sharing them at the end. But what I really want to get out of this is to really give you guys some gold standard examples of what you should be saying or what you should aim to be saying with all of your potential teamies when you're looking to invite them along. So the 8 golden steps that you need to apply. The first one is be in a hurry. Now, I'm really sorry if my writing is terrible. Please don't sack me. So be in a hurry. Now, this is a psychological thing because people are attracted to busy people who have got a lot going on. You know, we all love, or like people tend to follow people who have a lot happening in their life or they really know what it is that they're doing. So something that Eric Worre says in his GoPro book is when you're chatting to a potential teamie, don't make yourself overly available. Now, we're doing a lot of our conversations through Facebook Messenger, or perhaps we're doing it through Instagram Messenger. It's not very often that we seem to talk to people on the phone. However, I'm sure that there are some of you out there, and I know I've done this as well, when I'm presenting the business opportunity to people I'm actually seeing in person. So rather than allowing yourself to be overly available, you come from a point of view where you say, hey, hon, I'm so glad I caught you. I really wanted to quickly ask you something or chat to you about something, rather than being like coming from a naggy place or a needy place where you're like, hey, babe, so I really want to chat to you about something, and just allowing the conversation to go on and on. Basically, if you're coming from a place where you're hurried, it's a psychological thing. People tend to be very attracted to a busy person. So the next step that you want to do is compliment your teamie. Or your potential teamie. So we don't want to be like Regina George. I think we've all seen Mean Girls, where she says that is the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen. No, we don't want to do that. We actually want to come from a place where we genuinely mean our compliment. So if you're talking to someone in person, perhaps it could be something about what they're wearing, or, you know, you could go a little bit deeper than that and actually be quite authentic and say something about, you know, how compassionate or caring they are. I am going to give you an example of a script that I use in a moment where you are going to see me use that compliment in the particular script, but you want to make sure that this compliment is very genuine and it's authentic and it's real. It's not fake. You know, you can really feel that when someone's giving you a compliment and they don't actually mean what they're saying. It just doesn't feel nice. So we want to make sure that we're actually genuine in what we're saying. You want to make the invitation then, and basically explain to them a little bit about what it is that you're doing. So, for example, I guess the script up to date and what I would use at this particular point. So I would say to my teamie, my potential teamie, hey, hun, I'm so glad I caught you today. I really wanted to chat to you about something. So you're going to think that I'm absolutely crazy, but I have to say, I think you would be so amazing at what I do. You have an amazing engagement on Instagram, or you are such a kind-hearted and caring person who is really a great role model for so many women on their health and fitness journey. Or perhaps you might say something like, you know, I know that you've been really looking to get in the door in the health industry, and you are someone who is so passionate about health and helping others, or passionate about health and wellness and helping others. So coming from a place where you're really genuine about that. Now, I don't know if this has, or if this is something that you have potentially thought of, but I think that you would be an amazing asset to the team. Have you ever considered coming to work with me, or would you ever consider to come working with me? So that's basically where you can come in and you can make the invitation for them to then ask you a little bit more about what it is that you do. Now, the next step that he chats about, I'm just going to write number 3, make the invitation. Sorry. Step 4. Now, once you've actually gone through and said that script, I'm just going to leave that there until I need it again because I'm sitting really awkwardly. Once you've made the invitation to say, have you ever considered coming to work with me? Then once you've allowed them to reply back to you saying, oh, thanks, babe, like that's so kind of you. I'm really honored, or I'm really flattered that you have thought of me to come and work with you. What is it that you do? Perhaps they don't already know a lot about what you do. That's great, because then that really gives us a chance to explain what the Health Style Emporium is about, what Babes in Business is about, what Boss Babe Empire is about, what Balanced Bellas is about. So once they've replied back to you, then what you're looking at doing is asking them to come along to either a live event, an online event, or perhaps watch a recording, depending on what is appropriate for the situation. Now, if you're a brand newbie to this business, then you are at an awesome opportunity to invite people along to your own personal business launch. Now, this was something that was massive when I first started, and we're definitely seeing the numbers get bigger again in terms of people coming along to this. But I got my first 3 teamies from inviting them along to my business launch. And that's Natalie, who is one of our newest SSCs, Katie, who is also one of my best friends, and I've also had another person who was in the business at the time, who was my ex-partner, who came along to support me and heard more about what it is that we were up to, and decided that they wanted to join the business as well. So basically what you want to do next is extend the invitation by saying, if I would you. So basically what you're doing here is you're asking someone, if you are to do something for them, would they do something in exchange? So it's human psychology. If someone is openly doing something for us, then we're likely to respond and receive and do something in return. So if I were to send you through an invitation to our online event that we're having next week on X date at X time, would you come along live? Or if I were to send you through a recording to one of our recent information sessions that we had about the Health Style Emporium, about Balanced Bellas, or about Babes in Business, whatever your platform of choice is that you're chatting about, would you come along or would you watch that particular recording? So you're basically asking someone, if you are to do something for them, will they then do something in return for you as well? So once you have gone through the first 4 steps, which is be in a hurry, compliment your potential teamie, make the invitation, so asking them to, if they've ever considered doing what it is that you do for work, and then asking them if they would watch the webinar, attend live, or come to a live event by saying, if I would you. That's the first 4 steps. Now, only 5%, this is a really scary statistic, only 5% of your potentials will actually follow through with coming to watch the webinar, attending live, if you just go to the first 4 steps. So that's not really a good input for output in terms of the numbers that you're likely to convert into an actual teamie if you only do the first 4 steps. So the next 4 steps that I am going to chat to you guys about is getting the time commitments and also getting the dates locked in for the follow-up call, because this is actually the most critical part, except for obviously the entire invitation in its own right, of actually getting people to come along and watch what it is that you're up to, or see what it is that you're up to, so that they know a little bit more to make a decision whether or not they think that this business is something for them. So before I go on to that, I'd actually really love to bring someone on the line. Now, I've given both of my teamies a heads up about this. So Natalie or Katie, where are one of you girls? I would love for your input to be a volunteer for this, if I can see you. Oh, where's Natalie? Oh, she's not online. Oh, yes, she is. Maybe she's not.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Sorry to put you on the spot, darling. Don't worry, Katie's next. So what I'd really love to do, and everyone please meet Natalie. If you could pin her, please, Crystal, that would be amazing. So this is Natalie. She's one of my teamies, and she's also our newest SSC in the business, which is really exciting. And my internet just went. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, no worries. Sorry, guys, my hotspot is a little bit dodgy. I'd really love to do a bit of a role play with you. And I would basically love for you to treat me as if I'm a potential and walk me through the steps on what you would say to someone from when you send them an initial reach out message right through to, I guess, inviting them along to watch a webinar.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much for putting me on the spot. So I guess for me, I usually, like what we always do in the business, is build relationships. And so usually before I send this script out, I have been chatting to them for like about a week or so and like engaging with them and stuff. But I usually send the crazy script. So I just reach out to them and say, hey, like, hey, lovely, or whatever their name is, or hey, babe, you're probably going to think I'm crazy. But I had to reach out because I love what you're about. I love that you're super passionate about health and wellness, or whatever they seem to be interested in. I couldn't help but think to myself that you'd be really great at doing what I do. So I'd love to chat to you more about it if you'd love some more info.
Amazing. And so let's just say I've said back to you, hey babe, oh my God, that's so kind of you. I've been following you on Instagram for ages. You have body #goals. Because let's be honest, everyone would say that to you, Miss Natalie. Yeah, of course, babe. I'd love some more information, but what is Balanced Fellas?
So Balance, oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad you want to know some more info. So Balanced Fellas is our online holistic health program that is designed specifically for women to get happier and healthier. And I'm one of the wellness coaches in it, and I also mentor other women on how to become a wellness coach with us as well. So really the best way to find out more information about everything that Balanced Fellas is and what we do is to watch one of our webinars. We actually host them live on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. It's really cool. It's just through an online app, so you can do it from your living room or your couch or your bed, or if that doesn't suit you, I can also send you through a recorded version as well.
Amazing. I think I have plans this particular Wednesday, but I'd love the recording. Are you able to send that through to me?
Amazing. Yes, of course I can. It only goes for around 20 minutes, so it's super, super short. So if I send it through to you today, when do you think that you'd have some time to sit down and watch it?
Yeah, babe, I think I could probably watch it later on tonight after I finish netball or whatever the person is doing.
Awesome. That is perfect. That's perfect. So if I send it through to you today and you watch it tonight, let's just say, what's today? Tuesday. I'll check back in with you on Thursday to see if it could be something for you. And yeah, I'd love to kind of schedule a video chat with you as well, just to run through any questions or just have a general chit chat about what it is. And if you want to be a part of it, we can chat about the next kind of steps.
Amazing. That sounds great. Well, I'm free pretty much anytime Thursday if you want to give me a call then.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I can do 9 a.m. Does that work for you?
Amazing. So you guys basically get the gist of the conversation, and it has to flow back. Thank you, Natalie. You can put yourself up if you like. So you guys get the gist, obviously, of how the conversation flows with your teamies. Now, something that I guess to reiterate, this is where I'm coming in from the next steps for you guys. So I'll just quickly catch up to my notes. So 4 is if I were you. The next one is the time commitment. So as you guys can see, in what Natalie was saying, she was very, I guess, casual in how she addressed the time commitment. And I've actually found that that's actually a really good way to do it in a conversation. We don't by any means want to send any recordings or any links or anything until we have the commitment for them to follow up. But it's just a great way to work out with people when they have a chance to watch the webinar. So she basically said to me, if I was to send it through to you tonight, it only goes for about 20 minutes. Do you think you would have a chance to watch it? Now, in my instance, I said yes, but you might have some potential teamies who may turn around and say, oh, I don't think that I'd be able to watch it until this date. Or alternatively, you could come and say, when do you think you'd have a chance to watch it? And they might then come back and say, this Thursday, I have finished work early and I've got a good chance to finish it then. So that's the first time commitment that you want to get. And it's really important that we get a time commitment from our potentials as to when they are going to watch it, because we want to reiterate to them the commitment that they're making to us by watching this particular webinar. So the next thing to do is to schedule the follow-up call. And so you would have heard from Natalie that she basically said, I would love to schedule in a call with you in order to catch up and answer any further questions that you have. If that's something that you would be open to. She didn't say when would suit you, but ideally you want to say when would suit you for that follow-up call. And obviously you want to reiterate that they need to have watched the webinar before you have that follow-up call as well. So the next thing you want to do is get the follow-up time commitment. So in our instance, I said I'm free anytime Thursday, and we basically just mucked around and said 9 a.m. on Thursday is when we were going to have our follow-up call. So the next thing that you want to do after that is make sure that you reiterate that, okay, babe, so our call is booked in for 9 a.m. on Thursday, and I'm going to send you through the webinar now for you to watch prior to our catch-up call this particular Thursday at 9 a.m. Once you do that, you basically want to get off the phone or stop the messages or however it is that you're talking to your potential. Have I missed a step? I feel like I have. Confirm the time. No, I've done that. Sorry, schedule the call. Sorry, and then, sorry, 7 is... Sorry, guys, I missed a step. Give me a second. Confirm the time, follow-up call. Oh, and then the next one is get off the phone or stop talking. So basically why we want to stop talking or get off the phone or however it is that you're talking to your client or your potential teamie, is because we don't want to sit there and waffle and juice plus vomit and babes in business vomit and health style emporium vomit and basically vomit on everyone about what it is that we're doing. Because otherwise sometimes we speak too much, and that's when we tend to blow our opportunity. I know when I first started, oh God, if I could go back and screenshot some of my conversations that I had with some of my potential teamies, I think every single one of you would cringe at what I used to say and what I used to do. So you want to really leave it up to the webinar or the live event or the recording to really reiterate what it is that we're up to. And I guess the beauty of that is that for less input, you're able to get a better outcome because you're allowing the system that's already been put in place to help with educating and informing people about what it is that we're up to. Plus, by allowing someone to actually join a webinar live or come to a live event, they see how deep or the depth that this really goes. It's not just you. There's a whole team of women behind you who are all supporting the cause. And you never know whose story on that webinar or that live event is really going to resonate with your teamie. So it's really important to get them to that webinar in order for them to really get a good picture of what it is that we do. Now, I can just see that there's some questions. So, how do you sound if they don't commit to a call? When they say they just send, oh, yeah. Yeah, so basically what Alba has just asked is how do you respond if they don't want to commit to a call when they say just send me the link and I will let you know. So another way that Shani does this as well, which was something that I was going to bring up, is that basically when you're chatting to someone, you can actually book in a follow-up call. And if you do use an instant like phone appointment schedule, like Acuity Scheduling, which is an app that's really great to use, especially if you're quite busy. You can come from a place where you don't even necessarily bring up the webinar straight away. You can just book in a call with that potential and say you'd love to book in for a 20-minute phone call to go through everything that they need to know. And then once you've actually got that time commitment for them to book in the follow-up call, you can then say, okay, there's this 20-minute or 30-minute webinar that I would love for you guys to watch prior to our call, and basically just make sure that when you're checking in with them for the follow-up call, or prior to the follow-up call, to confirm the time that they've watched the webinar before the call. Otherwise, it's essentially pointless us jumping on that follow-up call, because we're just going to reiterate the same messages that could have been answered in that webinar as well. In the event that you have actually gone through and discuss the webinar prior to booking in the phone call. If someone doesn't want to book in a call with you, then I guess the question you've really got to ask yourself is, do you want to work with that person? Because it is a very simple step for them to follow, in terms of just, watching a recording and booking in for a follow-up call. And if they're resistant to booking in a follow-up call, what does that say about their work ethic? The beauty of this business is that we get to choose who we want to work with. And so in that instance where someone has refused to book in a follow-up call with me, I've said to them, that's okay, babe. Look, if you're really busy and you can't book in a follow-up call, that's fine. You just let me know when you've got time to do that, and then I'll send you through the webinar. So you're basically just coming straight back onto them saying, well, look, I've asked you to do this in exchange for me doing this. And if you're not able to do that, then just get back to me when you're able to book in a follow-up call with me. So that's just a way to navigate that as well. So in some instances, just to reiterate, I guess there's different ways that you would potentially be inviting someone along. Now, I just need to have a quick sip of water. Give me 2 seconds. So in some instances, you'll find that you are the person that is instigating the conversation. So if I was to use the example of Natalie and my conversation just now, where basically she came from the CCC approach, which is, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I have to say you would be so good at what I do. That's coming from, I guess, like you're actually instigating the conversation, versus you've put up a post on a poll, or like a poll on Instagram or a post on Instagram or Facebook, and someone's actually messaged you directly about that. So I would love to bring Miss Katie on. I know she's going to hate me for this, but Miss Katie, can you please show your video and unmute you? Please.
Yes, I'm coming.
Everyone, this is Katie. Everyone meet Katie. So, Miss Katie, what I would love to do with you, that's a nice robe you're wearing, by the way.
I know, it is so cold. I just went outside and it's freezing.
So what I would really love to do with you is, I would love to pretend that I'm someone who's messaged you about a post that you've popped on Instagram. So perhaps it's like, I'm looking for a wellness coach, or perhaps you've expressed about the mentoring program. What would you prefer to do? The wellness coaches?
Yeah. Did you say before it was from a poll? I actually did this tonight.
Okay, well, let's do that. So let's say I'm responding back to your poll. So I've clicked yes for more information. What are you going to do? What's your first step?
So I would just send a direct reach out if I haven't, built a relationship with them before. And I just send a simple like, hey babe, I saw you voted on my Instagram poll. What attracted you to finding out more information? And wait for their reply.
Amazing. And I say, so I basically am looking for some extra work. I love my job that I'm doing, but I just find that I just don't have enough money. And I really am passionate about health and wellness. And so I thought that this might be a great opportunity for me to have a look at doing some extra work. Is it online?
Yeah. Awesome. I'm so excited for you. So yeah, it's definitely online, and it's something that you can do on the side of, a full-time job, part-time job, and, just earn that extra money if that's what you're looking for.
Amazing.
Yeah.
No, you keep going.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. And then, I then just ask, what do you do now for work, and find out a bit more information from them. Or if they're not really giving me too much information, which some people don't really give you that much, I just send, would you love to find out a little bit more information? I can send you a link to our website to have a look, and then go from there.
Amazing. So, send them to the website. Let's say we've gotten to that point now where they've checked out the website. Yeah, babe, I love it. Like, it looks amazing. I really feels like it would be something that would be right up my alley. What would you then do?
So I would say, like, that's awesome, babe. I can't wait to share some more information for you. We actually have a live webinar this week. It's on, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Would you be able to make it?
Mm-hmm. And then if I turned around and said, I think I'm busy this particular Wednesday, what would you say?
I would just say the same and just say, well, look, if you can't make it, that's totally fine. We do have a recorded webinar. If I was to send it through, sometime today, when would you be able to watch it?
Yeah, amazing. And so basically the steps from there would be the exact same as what they are as how Natalie and I conducted them. So basically what you would do from there, ladies, is once you have the time commitment of that potential teamie watching the webinar, you then want to confirm the time commitment, and then you want to go through and book in the follow-up call. Or in the instance where I guess Shani mentioned before that she doesn't even send the webinar until after she's booked in the follow-up call, how you could slightly change what Katie and I were just mock role-playing is that Katie could have suggested, I'd love to catch up for a phone call with you. Like, when would you be free this week? You could then confirm when that follow-up call is, you could make the follow-up call time, get the time commitment, and then you could send through the webinar and ask your potential to watch that webinar prior to your phone call. So can I just get some thumbs up from those of you who have your screens showing? Like, is this making sense and is this helping you? Yeah, amazing, amazing. Does anyone have anything that they'd like to share? Like any, I guess, changes in what they're doing, or, like something that they might do that's a little bit different that works for them? Please feel free to unmute yourself and participate. No? Okay, that's all right. I'll check my questions now too as well, just while I have a bit of a break. So, how do you say no to someone who has directly approached you and they live in a country and they don't operate in? So that's a really good question, Nina. Unfortunately, that has actually happened to me before, where I've had someone from, I can't even remember what the name of the country was, but they weren't operating in that particular country. And I basically just said to them, unfortunately, the whole food company that we partner with, which is a crucial aspect of our program, doesn't actually yet deliver to that company, to that country in that particular area. But we would love to keep in touch and keep, I guess, in contact with them and keep that relationship open, because Juice Plus is aiming to go global. I can't obviously promise dates and those sorts of things with you guys, as obviously that's out of my control. But you can still keep that person close to the fire, because at the end of the day, if they do start to deliver in that country and you've kept that relationship open with that person, then you have another teamie that you've potentially lined up from how many months or years ago, depending on your ability to maintain a relationship with them. So that's basically how I would do it. I hope that helps. So I've just seen something about getting your mentors to jump on the first few follow-up calls. Just while we're chatting about that, 100%. Ladies, if you're brand new to this business, please lean on your mentors to do the follow-up calls with you, especially your first 2 to 3, because at the end of the day, no one expects you to be an expert in what you're doing. And if anything, it's going to help with teaching you by watching your leaders go before you as well. So that's definitely something to make the most of and make use of when you're first starting out, because the thing is, you're also going to have to do that for your teamies too when they come on. So you want to make sure that you know how to pass that or transfer those skills down the line. So what I think I might do is I'm going to copy the scripts that I've created in collaboration with Jessica as well. She hates it when I call her Jessica. But basically what we have created is steps to go right from when you send that first initial reach out message to your client or potential teamie or potential client. We're talking teamies mostly tonight though, right through to the messages that you would send to them, right up to the reminder of the follow-up call. So I'm just going to go through and read these, and then I'll copy and paste them into the chat. Actually, I'll do that now so you guys can do that before we end tonight's training. And I'll answer your question in a moment, Stevie. Okay. There we go. Control C. Oh, press the wrong button. Please hold. Oh no, it's not letting me copy it. How about, guys, I'll just post this into the Babes in Business training page directly after the call, because I think that that's probably just going to be the best option. So Stevie, if someone's asking, I guess, or you're not sure how to let them know that your mentor is going to be on the line, I would basically suggest doing all of those steps up to that point where you basically confirmed the follow-up call with them. And then I would say, so if it's okay with you, I'd actually love for my mentor Bianca or my mentor Natalie to be on the line to chat to you a little bit further about the business and also answer any questions you may have. Bianca or Natalie have been in the business now for over 18 months and they've been doing exceptionally well. So I really feel like they would be great at being able to answer your questions. And so you can use that with your mentors, basically just to say that they've been in this business for however long before you, they're doing really well, they're getting great results, and you just love for them to be there to help answer any questions that you can't. So that would just be how I would address your mentor jumping on the line with you as well, in case they feel uncomfortable. And look, if they do really feel uncomfortable and don't want the mentor on the line, of course we need to respect that, but that's never happened. At least not for me and my team. So I'd say we'd all be pretty safe at using that as an expression to let them know about our mentors coming on. So with the scripts, basically, I'm just going to run through an example of this. So please feel free to write this if you want to, but again, I'm going to post this directly into the page. So message number 1, you're responding to an inquiry. Hey, lovely, thank you so much for your message. I'm super excited that you'd love to find out more about Balanced Bellas or the Health Style Emporium. I'd really love for you to check out your check out our website, which gives you a sneak peek into what we're all about. Or I would love to learn a little bit more about you and what you're all about, what sparked your interest in joining the team. So the next message that you want to send to them is a reply, obviously, back to that message saying, amazing girl, I love that. Sounds like we have lots in common, and I think you would be perfect at what we do. Or you could respond back, I guess, to what is authentic and original at that particular time. The best way for you to learn and understand more about what it is that we do and how to join our team is if I was to send you through a recorded webinar, which goes for about 20 minutes and explains everything you need to know. If I were to send it through to you, would you watch it? The next message, which is basically to organize the follow-up call. So awesome. I'd love to chat with you further afterwards and organize a video call so I can meet you officially and personally answer any questions you may have. We use a free video calling program. If we were to schedule a video call to chat on, say, this date at this time, would that work for you? So the next message is that once they've obviously agreed, you say, great, at this time on this date is locked into the diary. Here is our recorded webinar, Chickie, and I look forward to jumping onto the call with you, and I'll send you through those details in a little bit. So the next one that you want to do, if they're joining the webinar live, for example, you might want to send them a follow-up message just to remind them about the webinar if they're attending live, or if they're coming to like a live event as well. Then you obviously want to make sure that you're touching base with them of the day of the live event to make sure that they're still coming. Basically, then the next message that you want to send to them is just a message to remind them about the follow-up call. So, hey, lovely, I'm just hopping on now and getting everything sorted. I just wanted to confirm that you're all good for our follow-up call. Have you had a chance to watch the webinar? Now, if they haven't watched the webinar, then you want to reschedule the follow-up call because, as I said, you're basically just going to waste a lot of time answering questions and explaining the whole business structure, which you don't need to do. That's what our webinars and what our live events are all for. So obviously and hopefully in this situation, they have watched the webinar and they're all good for the follow-up call. And then from there, that's basically when we would get into doing their follow-up call and starting their team strong, which is one of our next sessions that we have. So I don't want to spill into that content too much. So does that help everyone, like in terms of the scripts and what to say? I've got a few nods. Yeah. Amazing. So I've just got some other tips, I guess, of what not to do in an instance, like things to just avoid when you're trying to invite people along to watch a webinar or attend a live event. So you don't want to come across as desperate. That is something that is really, really important. I think that we've all received those messages in Instagram from people who just send the same copy-pasted message. I even had one person once, and I really shouldn't I'm not coming from a place of being nasty here, but someone screenshotted a message that they sent to someone else and sent me the screenshot of that message to invite me along to take a look at their business opportunity. We don't want to do that. Like, that basically is just showing someone that you don't even have the time, effort, or energy to actually send them a personal message and build a relationship with them. So there's definitely a distinct difference between telling someone that they think that they would be amazing at it and you think that they would kill it at this business, as opposed to making it all about you, saying that they should come join your team because you're going to make millions and you're just going to like quit your jobs tomorrow and you're just going to, like, I don't know, be richer than millionaires. Like, you get what I'm trying to say. You don't want to come from a place where it's about you and about you leaving your job or about you making like thousands and thousands of dollars from this opportunity. It's really about them and what this could be for them. Don't speak over your potentials as well. It's always important to allow them time to think. And sometimes, as Crystal said before in the newbies training that we had, you're not the most important person in the world, unfortunately, at least not to them. You are probably to somebody. But in terms of this business, you don't want to nag them consistently. Obviously, there's a difference between following up or like gently following up with people when you haven't heard from them. But you want to give people a chance to actually stop and think about your opportunity, especially if you're speaking face to face to them. You want to allow them time to think and ponder rather than just word vomiting, juice plus vomiting, babes in business vomiting, boss babe empires vomiting all over people. It may take more than one message to get a response from someone, but ensure you're always following up compassionately and coming from a place where you genuinely care. So I'd love to know on the floor, are there any specific questions? Please feel free to unmute yourself, or alternatively write them in the chat section. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to quickly write some questions and I'll check if I haven't missed anything. So okay, now it looks like everyone's doing pretty good. Is everyone good? Did that help? Did everyone get something out of that training tonight? Oh, I have a question maybe. There was a question you missed. Okay. Where was the question? Okay. How do you, now I'm getting way too many comments. Hold on, please hold. How do you go about keeping track of conversations that fizzle out and they don't reply? So I've basically created an Excel spreadsheet with all of my potentials. So I've gone through my Instagram and I've found 200 people that I've spoken to or I would love to have on my team. And I basically have a spreadsheet, which I realized I was meant to share this before I moved to Sydney, and I completely forgot. So I'll share this tonight in Babes in Business as well, where it's basically my template of when I keep track with everyone that I've spoken to. So after about 4 or 5 messages to somebody, I would then send someone a message where I just say something along the lines of, hey, hun, so I know that I've spoken to you a couple of times. I've sent you quite a few messages now. And to be honest, I don't want to feel like I'm a stalker, but I just wanted to touch base with you as I know that we've previously spoken about you becoming an online wellness coach through the Health Style Emporium or Balanced Bellas. And I'm currently doing my intakes for this particular month. And I know that this is something you were previously interested in. Is this still something that you are wanting to do? As I only have a certain amount of places for me to personally mentor women to become online wellness coaches. And so if this is something for you, I'll continue to hold your spot. But if not, then I would love to give it to someone else or one of the other applicants who've basically expressed their interest. So in that instance, after about 4 or 5 messages and it's got to that point and they've said no, then I would just take them off that Excel spreadsheet that I've created and then find someone else and replace that name. So I'll pop that in with my notes as well for tonight so you guys can see that and perhaps use that as a way to keep track of all of your conversations. So what's a good icebreaker question if they just stop responding? So it depends what platform you're on, Amanda. I personally use Instagram to build my business. I just find that works really well for me. I know everyone has things that work better for them. And I find replying to people's stories is a great way to restart conversations. Another thing that I come up with as well It's just, I say, hey babe, I'm so sorry. I haven't gotten back to you sooner. It's literally been crazy. The message I've been sending this week is I've literally just settled in Sydney. Life has been crazy. How are you? And so that's usually a great way then to, I guess, restart conversations, because someone might literally turn around and say to you, oh my God, babe, I'm so sorry. I literally opened your message and got a phone call and completely forgot to write back. So just coming from a place where you're saying that you're sorry for keeping them waiting, they might then turn around and say, I'm so sorry, I haven't got back to you sooner. So that's a good way to do it as well. Have I missed another question from someone? No, I don't think so. If I have somehow missed a question, can you unmute yourself? If not, hold on, here we go. No, it's all good. If not, please feel free to inbox me and I'll help answer any questions from tonight's webinar as well. So if we could maybe stop the recording there. Thank you everyone for